In this demo, we will submit a sample within Lockbox LIMS to see how Lockbox aids in sample tracking and management. This demo focuses on a clinical sample. However, Lockbox LIMS supports any type of sample tracking, including raw materials, finished goods, and any other manufacturing input. Starting from the home page, we can click the Samples tab. This takes us to a list view where we can see all the submitted samples within the LIMS. We are creating a new sample record, so we will click New. Now we can enter in any of the information we have about the sample, from its name, date of collection, and sample type, to any storage details like what box the sample is being stored in. If we wanted to plate this sample and run tests on it, we can do that here. But I want to keep this sample frozen, and the LIMS will track that as well. Once I click Save, I'm taken to the sample record page. This record page stores all the information about the sample and tells the user where the sample has progressed to in its life cycle. Scrolling down, we can see the storage details, which describe where the sample is located in the lab. Notice, I only inputted which box the sample is in, but Lockbox LIMS automatically updated the storage hierarchy to tell the user all the location details they need to find the box in the lab. I also have the plate and freeze-thaw information. I know I will be making aliquots of this sample, so I will thaw it out and the LIMS will track that action as well. At the bottom of the record page is the sample history, which is critical for audit management. Going back to the status bar at the top, we can mark the sample submission as complete and move on to the next stage of the sample's lifecycle, which is aliquot creation. If I make multiple aliquots, it's as easy as editing the aliquot number. I will make 5, and notice that the aliquot related list on the right is automatically populated with the new child records. With this stage of the sample's lifecycle complete, I can move on to plating my aliquots and running them through some tests. By returning to the samples list view, I can filter my lab samples to see only aliquots. Here, I can simultaneously assign multiple samples to a plate by simply searching within the LIMS for my workflow plate. A very useful feature of Lockbox is their plate map, which allows users to allocate specific wells within the plate for samples or standards. These plate maps are dynamic and allow for the user to move samples to different locations when needed. Now the next stage of this sample's lifecycle is testing. I will first choose the protocol I want to execute on my plate. In this case, let's run a qPCR. I can execute this protocol on my plate and store all the testing information within the LIMS. With testing complete, I can update my status bar and earn a little celebration. Now, in many cases, testing produces new derived samples, which can also be stored within the LIMS. The user might also want to upload important files to the LIMS or add notes for other lab techs to view. The final stage of this sample's lifecycle is long-term storage. I can click the Boxes tab and use the box visualizer to check that my sample is correctly stored. And just like the plate maps, these box maps are dynamic, so samples can be added, moved, and deleted. Now this sample has had a complex lifecycle that is made even easier to manage by Lockbox's barcoding functionality. These barcodes can be printed, placed on the sample, and scanned throughout the sample's lifecycle to manage the sample's location, testing, and data. The workflow that we ran through in this demo was just a small portion of Lockbox's sample management capabilities. Check out Lockbox's other modules like storage management, protocol execution, and instrument management to learn more about Lockbox's full capabilities.